Have you ever wondered if God has ever visited you in a personal, tangible way? Perhaps you're searching for a sign, something to assure you that He's not only real, but also actively involved in your life. Often, we anticipate grand gestures or miraculous signs to feel God's presence. However, God doesn't always speak through burning bushes or parting seas. His visits are frequently more subtle, yet profoundly impactful. These gentle whispers can occur in the most ordinary moments, turning the mundane into the extraordinary, reminding us that He is ever present. Recognizing these signs is not about witnessing the sensational, it's about perceiving the divine in the daily. Whether it's through a stranger's timely words, a sudden peace amidst chaos, or even a renewed hope when all seemed lost, these are the moments that subtly affirm God's presence and guidance in our lives. Join us as we explore 12 unmistakable signs that God has visited you. From the deeply personal to the wonderfully universal, these signs can fortify our faith and remind us of the divine fingerprints all over our stories. Stay with us till the end, and perhaps you'll see that God has been closer than you ever imagined. Don't miss this journey of discovery. Make sure you watch each sign and share your experiences in the comments below. Our first sign is perhaps the most profound, yet elusive and overwhelming sense of presence. This isn't just about feeling good. It's about sensing an undeniable divine presence that envelops you completely, often when you least expect it. Imagine being surrounded by a palpable feeling of love and peace that transcends understanding. It's as if the air around you thickens with comfort and assurance. This overwhelming sense of presence is often described by those who experience it as feeling not alone, even in the most solitary moments. It's a profound awareness that something greater than ourselves is at work, guiding, comforting, and watching over us. Consider the story of Sarah, a middle-aged school teacher going through a tough phase. After losing her mother, Sarah struggled with deep grief and loneliness. One evening, as she sat in her garden, despairing, she suddenly felt an indescribable peace descend upon her. It was as if someone was sitting beside her, unseen yet palpably present, holding her in a warm embrace. Sarah shared that, in that moment, she knew she wasn't alone. God was with her, comforting her in her pain. For Sarah, this experience was transformative. The profound peace and comfort she felt didn't just help her cope with her mother's loss. It renewed her faith and changed her understanding of God's personal love and care. She wasn't just told that God cares, she felt it envelop her in her moment of need. Experiences like Sarah's are reminders that God's presence is not confined to churches or spiritual highs. It can come quietly, powerfully, into our ordinary lives, turning our darkest nights into moments of profound spiritual awakening. If you've ever experienced this overwhelming sense of presence, you may understand the depth of its impact. It's more than just a feeling. It's a divine visitation that reassures us of our ongoing personal relationship with God. It's a sign that He is actively involved in the minutiae of our lives, offering His strength and peace when we need it most. The second sign that God has visited you might come in the form of an unexpected resolution to a long-standing problem. It's those moments when the impossible suddenly becomes possible against all odds. Imagine facing a situation where every logical solution has failed and hope seems lost. In these moments, a sudden, unforeseen resolution can feel like a divine intervention. It's as if a hand unseen is rearranging the pieces of your puzzle, bringing about a solution that was once deemed unreachable. Take the story of Mark, who owned a small, struggling bookstore. Despite his best efforts, financial ruin loomed large due to accumulating debts and declining sales. every conventional door closing, Mark's stress levels were at an all-time high, threatening not just his business, but his health and family life as well. One evening, feeling defeated, Mark prayed earnestly for a miracle. The very next day, an author looking for a quaint venue for his book launch walked into Mark's store. This event not only brought in much-needed revenue, but also revitalized Mark's customer base significantly. For Mark, this wasn't just good luck. It was a timely reminder of divine providence. His bookstore was saved, and his faith was strengthened. This experience reshaped his understanding of prayer and divine help, reinforcing his belief in God's active presence in his life. Situations like Mark's teach us that God's ways are not our ways. He can see the bigger picture and often delivers solutions that we couldn't have imagined ourselves. This unexpected help serves not only to solve our immediate problems, but to strengthen our faith and reliance on Him. And it's not just in financial crises. Think about relationships that heal unexpectedly, health that improves against all medical odds, or even a lost item of great emotional value that is found just when needed. Each of these situations can signify God's intervention and care. So, if you've ever experienced a sudden resolution to a problem, consider it more than mere coincidence. It could very well be a sign of God's visitation, His way of letting you know that He is with you, guiding and supporting you through life's challenges. It's an invitation to trust Him more fully, recognizing His handiwork in the tapestry of your life. Our third sign of a divine visitation comes through encounters with strangers who deliver messages that resonate deeply and arrive at just the right moment in our lives. Sometimes, God uses the least expected messengers to convey His words to us. These encounters often happen when we're wrestling with doubts, searching for answers, or simply needing encouragement. A stranger might approach with a message that fits perfectly into the puzzle of your current situation, providing clarity, hope, or confirmation. Consider Emma, who was grappling with the decision to move abroad for a new job opportunity, torn between excitement for the future and guilt over leaving her family. While pondering this in a park, a stranger sat beside her and started talking about his own life experiences, unknowingly addressing her fears. He shared how he once made a similar move, and how it not only led to personal growth, but also allowed him to support his family in ways he never could have if he had stayed. His story, strikingly relevant to her dilemma, felt like a direct message from God. For Emma, this encounter was pivotal. The stranger's story provided the reassurance and courage she needed to make her decision confidently. She felt a profound peace, interpreting it as God's affirmation of her path. Encounters like Emma's illustrate how God can orchestrate our interactions to deliver timely messages through others. These moments remind us that God is actively involved in our lives, guiding us through others when we least expect but most need it. It's not just about major life decisions. It could be as simple as a comforting word during a tough day or a piece of advice that solves a nagging problem. These are not random interactions. They are divine appointments. Next time a stranger strikes up a conversation that hits close to home, or when you receive advice that perfectly addresses your situation, take a moment to consider the possibility of a divine encounter. These are not mere coincidences. They are signs of God's presence and His way of communicating directly with us. These messages, often delivered by unlikely messengers, are part of how God assures us that we are never alone and that He is continually speaking into our lives. The fourth sign that God may have visited you is through dreams and visions, moments when the divine touches our minds in sleep or during deep contemplation. Dreams and visions have been pathways of divine communication throughout history, as recorded in many spiritual texts. These are not ordinary dreams, but are vivid, memorable, and often life-changing. They come filled with symbolism and clarity that speak directly to our spirits, offering guidance, revelation, or reassurance. Take the experience of James, a university professor struggling with the decision to continue his career in academia or to venture into a more creative field, which was his passion. One night, James had a dream where he walked down a long corridor filled with doors. Each door opened to a scene of him in different careers. As he approached the last door, it opened to a sunny path leading to a garden, which filled him with an overwhelming sense of peace and contentment. This vision was unlike anything he had experienced before. Upon waking, James felt an unmistakable pull towards what he truly loved, his creative work. The dream was a pivotal moment for him, giving him the courage to step into the unknown, trusting that it was the right path for him. He interpreted this vivid dream as a divine nudge to pursue his true calling. James's story illustrates how dreams and visions can serve as direct communications from God, tailored to our life's context and needs. They can cut through the noise of our daily lives and deliver messages that resonate with our deepest selves. Many people have reported dreams that predicted future events, offered solutions to problems, or provided comfort during trials. These aren't mere coincidences or figments of imagination. They are often divinely inspired insights meant to guide, protect, or assure us. If you've ever experienced a dream or vision that left you with a lasting impression or dramatically altered your perspective or life direction, consider it more than just a subconscious reflection. It might very well be a sign of God's presence in your life, a sacred communication meant to guide you along your path. Reflect on these dreams and visions. They are precious gifts that can help you navigate your journey with greater clarity and purpose. The fifth sign that God has visited you might be experienced as a revival of lost hope. At times when all seems bleak, a sudden surge of hope can be a profound signal of divine intervention. Hope is a powerful force. It uplifts our spirits and drives us forward, even during our darkest hours. But what happens when hope is rekindled just as it seems to be extinguished? This inexplicable renewal of hope can often feel as though a divine hand is reaching out, lifting us from despair. Consider Anna's story. After years of unsuccessful medical treatments, Anna was close to giving up hope of ever becoming a mother. However, during a particularly low moment, she attended a community support group where she heard a story that changed her perspective. Inspired by a conversation with a woman who had faced similar challenges, Anna felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. She decided to explore other avenues she hadn't considered before. This newfound hope wasn't just a fleeting feeling for Anna. It was transformative, leading her to pursue a successful adoption. Looking back, Anna believes that the encounter at the support group was a clear sign of God's hand in her life, reminding her that her journey wasn't over yet. Stories like Anna's remind us that God often plants seeds of hope in seemingly infertile soils of our despair. These moments of revived hope are not just emotional upswings, they are divine whispers, encouraging us to persevere and trust in God's plan for our lives. It's not only in personal quests like Anna's where hope can be revived. It could be a breakthrough in a long-standing conflict, a sudden opportunity that emerges from failure, or finding the strength to overcome a personal vice. Each instance where hope is renewed, especially from depths of despair, can be viewed as a tap on the shoulder from God. So, if you've ever experienced a revival of hope when you least expected it, consider it a profound sign of God's visitation. Such moments are not mere coincidences, but are powerful affirmations that God is actively involved in your life, offering hope and guiding you through the shadows. Embrace these instances as divine reassurances that with God, no situation is truly hopeless. Our sixth sign of divine visitation comes in the form of finding items of personal significance exactly when they're needed most. These moments often feel like small miracles, where the timing and the item's emotional value combine to deliver a message from God. Whether it's a lost family heirloom that reappears during a tough time, or a meaningful book that falls off a shelf just as you're seeking answers, these occurrences can feel like a direct intervention from above. It's as though God is reminding us that He is aware of our needs and our emotional state, providing comfort and answers through tangible objects. Consider the story of Clara, who had been struggling with her faith and purpose. While cleaning the attic one day, she stumbled upon her late grandmother's diary, a woman of deep faith whom Clara had always admired. The diary opened to a page containing words of encouragement that Clara needed to hear precisely at that moment. It spoke of perseverance, faith, and finding one's purpose through God's timing. For Clara, finding the diary was a turning point. It not only connected her with her grandmother's legacy, but also brought her words of hope when she needed them most. This incident reignited Clara's faith and inspired her to pursue her art with a renewed sense of purpose, seeing it as a divine calling rather than just a hobby. Clara's experience underscores how God can use our everyday surroundings to communicate with us. These items, especially when they carry significant personal or familial value, act as vessels through which God can reassure, guide, and speak to our hearts. Such moments aren't limited to dramatic discoveries. They can be as simple as finding a cherished photograph when feeling nostalgic, or coming across a meaningful quote that offers guidance during a decision-making process. These are not random occurrences. They're signs of God's intimate involvement in our lives. So next time you come across an item that seems to be perfectly timed to your needs, take a moment to appreciate the possibility of a divine message. These findings are not merely coincidental. They are God's personal way of letting you know that He is with you, providing not just for your physical needs, but also nourishing your spirit. Recognize these moments as signs of His love and presence in your life. The seventh sign that God may have visited you comes through modern communication, receiving a call or message at the perfect moment. These are not ordinary exchanges, but timely communications that provide exactly what you need to hear, precisely when you need it most. In our interconnected world, it's easy to take a quick text message or a phone call for granted. Yet, sometimes, these messages come loaded with significance, arriving at moments of great personal need or decision. It's as if the sender was moved by a force beyond themselves, becoming a conduit for a message directly from God. Consider David, a dedicated social worker who was on the verge of burnout. Overwhelmed by the demands of his job and feeling underappreciated, he questioned his career path. Just as he was contemplating resignation, his phone buzzed. It was a message from a former client, thanking him for his support years ago, which she credited with fundamentally changing her life for the better. This message arrived exactly when David needed encouragement to keep going. For David, this message was a lifeline. It reminded him of the real impact of his work and rekindled his passion for helping others. He saw it as a divine sign that his efforts were not in vain and that he was exactly where he needed to be. Instances like David's illustrate how God can use simple, everyday technologies to reach into our lives with His comforting and guiding hand. These communications serve as tangible reminders that we are not alone, that our work and struggles are seen, and that we are on the path God has set for us. It's not always about big career decisions. Sometimes, it's a text from a friend asking to meet just when you feel isolated, or an unexpected email offering an opportunity that feels tailor-made for your talents and desires. These are not mere coincidences. They are orchestrated by God's loving attention to our lives. So, the next time you receive a call or a message that seems perfectly timed to your needs, consider the deeper implications. These communications might just be the sign you've been seeking, a clear message from God that He is with you, guiding and supporting you through the communications of others. Embrace these moments as divine interactions, meant to encourage and guide you along your journey. Our eighth sign that God has visited you may manifest as a compelling urge to help others. This sign is about those unexpected moments when you feel an irresistible pull to assist, support, or comfort someone, even if it means going out of your way or changing your plans dramatically. This urge isn't just a general desire to do good. It's a powerful, almost inexplicable conviction that you must act in a specific moment. It's as if God is directing you to be His hands and feet, to bring His love and care to someone in need right then and there. Imagine Lisa, who was driving home after a long day at work, eager to relax. As she passed by a public park, she noticed a young man sitting alone, looking despondent. Despite her tiredness and desire to get home, Lisa felt a strong, undeniable urge to stop and speak with him. This was out of character for her, but she followed this compelling feeling. It turned out that the young man, Kevin, was going through a severe personal crisis and felt completely alone. Lisa's conversation not only provided immediate comfort but also connected Kevin with community resources that helped him rebuild his life. For Lisa, this was a profound experience that reinforced her faith in divine guidance. Lisa's story highlights how God can work through us in unexpected ways. When we feel a sudden, strong urge to help, it might be God prompting us to act as agents of His grace and mercy. These moments can transform lives, not just the lives of those we help, but our own, as we fulfill our calling to serve others. This divine urge can manifest in various ways, offering a listening ear to a friend, volunteering for a cause you hadn't considered before, or even donating to a charity at a moment when it feels particularly meaningful. Each of these actions, driven by a profound inner push, can be seen as a response to God's call. So, if you've ever experienced a compelling urge to help someone that seemed to come out of nowhere, take it as a possible sign of God's presence and guidance in your life. These are not random impulses, but divine inspirations meant to channel His love through your actions. Embrace these urges as opportunities to witness God's love in action, and know that in serving others, you are directly responding to His call. The ninth sign of God's visitation often comes through the natural world around us. Sometimes, natural phenomena occur that speak directly and profoundly to our individual circumstances, resonating with our emotions and experiences in an almost supernatural way. These are moments when nature itself seems to align with our personal narratives, offering symbols of hope, renewal, or even warning. From a sudden rainbow after a personal storm to an unexpected calm during turbulent times, these signs can feel as if the universe is conspiring to communicate directly with us. Imagine Ellen, who was battling a long, draining legal dispute that seemed endless. One evening, after a particularly hard day, as she looked out her window, she saw an immense double rainbow arc across the sky immediately after a harsh storm. Ellen had always felt a special connection to rainbows as symbols of God's promises and renewal. For Ellen, this natural phenomenon was not just a meteorological event. It was a divine sign. It came at a moment when she needed reassurance the most, revitalizing her hope and resolve to persevere. Ellen took this sign as a clear message that the end of her struggles was near, and that peace would soon return to her life. Ellen's experience is a testament to how God can use the elements of nature to speak to us in personal and impactful ways. These natural signs are often reminders of His presence, His control over creation, and His understanding of our struggles and needs. This divine communication is not limited to dramatic visual phenomena. It could be as simple as a gentle breeze at a moment of stress, the sudden appearance of a specific bird that you associate with a loved one, or even the flowering of a particular plant that blooms out of season. Each of these natural events can serve as a comforting signal from God, tailored to our circumstances. So, when you witness a natural phenomenon that deeply resonates with your current situation, consider it more than mere coincidence. It could very well be a sign from God, tailored to provide you with comfort, guidance, or a reminder of His eternal promises. These moments invite us to pause, reflect, and acknowledge the divine orchestration in our lives, reinforcing our faith in a Creator who communicates through the beauty and power of the natural world. The 10th sign that God has visited you can be a profound and sometimes unexpected physical healing. Whether it's a sudden recovery from a long-term illness or a rapid improvement from a minor ailment, these healings can serve as powerful indicators of divine intervention. Physical healing as a divine sign often comes when medical hope is waning or when the healing occurs in a way that defies conventional medical explanations. It's these moments that remind us of the miracles spoken of in Scripture, brought into our modern lives as clear testimonies of God's power and mercy. Take the case of Michael, who had suffered from debilitating back pain for years, trying all sorts of treatments without success. Frustrated and weary, Michael attended a community prayer meeting, not expecting much, but seeking comfort in fellowship. During this meeting, he was prayed over by others, and to his astonishment, he began to feel a significant reduction in pain. Within a few days, his back pain had completely disappeared, something his doctors couldn't fully explain. Michael's sudden healing was not just a relief, physically, but also a monumental boost to his faith. It served as a tangible manifestation of God's caring intervention in his life. For Michael, this experience was a clear sign of God's presence and power, reaffirming his belief in a God who not only hears but also responds to the cries of His people. Michael's story is a reminder that God's capacity to heal and restore transcends our human understanding and limitations. Physical healings, as signs of divine visitation, challenge us to expand our perceptions of what is possible and to deepen our faith in God's omnipotence. Such healings aren't limited to physical ailments. They can also be seen in the sudden recovery from mental health struggles or the rapid improvement in emotional well-being following prayer or spiritual intervention. Each of these instances can be perceived as a direct touch from God's healing hands. If you or someone you know has experienced a surprising physical healing, consider it more than just a happy outcome. It could very well be a sign of God's direct intervention. These healings remind us that we are cared for by a divine power that is both loving and mighty. Embrace these experiences as profound affirmations of God's ongoing presence and active involvement in our lives, healing us not just in body, but in spirit and mind as well. Our 11th sign that God has visited you is the restoration of broken relationships. This powerful sign manifests when seemingly irreparable bonds are mended, often unexpectedly, offering new beginnings and healing where only discord and pain once existed. Relationships are complex and can be fraught with misunderstandings and hurt. Yet, the restoration of these relationships is a testament to the power of forgiveness and divine intervention. When reconciliation occurs, especially under circumstances that once seemed hopeless, it's as if God Himself has woven His grace into the hearts involved. Consider the story of Elena and her brother Tom, who hadn't spoken in over a decade due to a deep family rift. Despite numerous attempts at reconciliation, all efforts had failed, leaving both siblings resigned to their estrangement. However, during a family crisis, a spontaneous encounter at the hospital led them to support each other, reopening lines of communication. This unexpected turn of events led to heartfelt conversations, forgiveness, and eventually a restored relationship. For Elena and Tom, this restoration was a miracle in its own right. It not only healed their relationship, but also brought healing to their entire family, who had been divided by their conflict. They attribute this reconciliation to a higher power, feeling that God had intervened at the right moment to bring them back together. The story of Elena and Tom illustrates that God is deeply interested in our relationships and personal peace. It shows that He can soften hearts and open doors that seem forever closed, reminding us of His commandment to love and forgive one another as He loves and forgives us. This divine intervention is not limited to family ties. It can occur in friendships, professional relationships, and even between communities. Each restored relationship is a beacon of God's desire for unity and peace among His children. If you have witnessed or experienced the restoration of a relationship that once seemed broken beyond repair, see it as a profound sign of God's presence and His work in your life. These reconciliations are powerful testimonies of God's grace, urging us to embrace forgiveness and to seek peace, just as He continually forgives and seeks peace with us. The 12th and final sign that God has visited you can be a profound moment of enlightenment, a new understanding of Scripture. This sign occurs when a familiar passage suddenly illuminates your circumstances with clarity and depth that you had never comprehended before. The Bible is a living text, continually speaking into our lives. Sometimes, a verse that you might have read 100 times will strike you differently, shedding light on your situation or answering a deep-seated question in a way that feels directly communicated from God. Consider Samuel, who was facing a crucial decision about his career path. One morning, while reading a passage from Proverbs about wisdom and guidance, the words seemed to leap off the page and speak directly to his heart. The scripture, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight," took on a new, powerful meaning that directly addressed his fears and uncertainties. This moment of spiritual clarity was transformative for Samuel. It not only helped him make a decision aligned with his faith, but also deepened his relationship with Scripture as a source of divine guidance. Samuel felt as if God Himself had spoken to him through the words of the Bible, guiding him through his decision-making process. Samuel's experience underscores the dynamic nature of Scripture as a conduit for God's voice. When we encounter Scripture in a way that changes our understanding or approach to life, it's often a sign that God is actively engaging with us, teaching and guiding us through His Word. This phenomenon isn't limited to personal reflection. It can happen during Bible studies, sermons, or even casual conversations. Whenever Scripture suddenly makes sense in a way that it hadn't before, providing peace, conviction, or call to action, it can be a clear indication of God's guiding hand. So, if you've ever read a passage of Scripture and felt as if it was written just for you in that moment, consider it a divine visitation. These instances of new understanding are not mere coincidences, but are meaningful interactions with the living God, who speaks into our lives with precision and purpose through His Word. Embrace these moments as personal revelations meant to guide, comfort, and transform you. As we come to the close of our journey through these 12 signs that God has visited you, we hope you found encouragement and affirmation in the stories and insights shared today. Remember, God's presence in our lives is real and multifaceted, often revealed in ways that are as unique as each one of us. Gentle montage of the various signs discussed, echoing moments from the video people in prayer, helping each other experiencing moments of revelation, and enjoying natural beauty. If you recognized any of these signs in your own life, or if you're still searching for that connection, we encourage you not to lose heart. Keep your eyes open, your mind receptive, and your heart ready to receive the divine touches that all around us. We'd love to hear your stories and experiences. Share in the comments below any signs you've noticed or how this video has impacted your view of God's presence in your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on our future videos that aim to uplift and inspire. Share this video with friends and family who might also need a reminder of the subtle yet profound ways God moves in our lives. Thank you for watching, and may you walk in faith, aware of God's ceaseless work and love in every moment of your life.